Hello, fellow pit ponies, and welcome to our special bonus episodes that we've put together for your pleasure, which capture those beautiful moments at the end of our episodes, in which our guests share with you the magical experiences they've enjoyed since leaving the classroom. We refer to them affectionately as the sliding doors stories. The stories are different, unique, and incredibly powerful, and serve as an inspiration to us all. So on behalf of myself and Sarah, enjoy. Rowena Hicks, Classroom to Author, Sliding Door Story.
It's so easy for me, that really, because last June I put myself on a plane to go and visit my son in Bali. And I sat on this semi-empty plane in term time, going to somewhere hot just because I wanted to and I could. And I realised that actually I'd taken some control in my life and that I was going to be okay. I wasn't completely better, but actually I could start to look at myself with value in terms of making a decision for myself, not just what everybody else wanted of me. It was a beautiful moment of realisation.
Amy Meade, Classroom to Learning and Development Manager, Sliding Doors Story.
The most significant sliding doors moment for me is I had grandparents that passed away during COVID, and their wish was that they wanted to be returned to Malta, to have the ashes scattered in the bay that they grew up in. And I knew, because this was all kind of the trip had been delayed going out there, because there was COVID, etc., and it just wasn't the right time. And I was still teaching when my family were talking about, wanting to plan the trip for the next year. So I left December 2022, but they'd started talking about it in 2022 about going out there about to Malta next spring, and going to the bay where they grew up to scatter their ashes, and so doing sort of family ceremony out there. And because I was still teaching, I knew that I would have to go through the agony of having to, write to the governors, write to the head, plea for this time off. And I know I wouldn't be able to stay out there the whole time with the family. I'd just have to probably, I might be lucky if I can go for the weekend and maybe fly back on the Monday or something like that. Like, I knew I wouldn't get the whole time out there with the family. So there was already a compromise. And obviously how I ended up, didn't plan on leaving teaching. It's all quite sudden in some respects, but it meant that once I had left, that I knew I was going to be able to go out on that trip with the family for the whole time and not have to ask anyone's permission. All I had to do was, just book time off work in an online form, and that was it. And it was the most special thing. Like, I can't explain, like, being in an airport when it's not the school holidays, like, that felt amazing, and then actually to be able to be out there with the family to watch the sunrise over the bay and scattered their ashes and said goodbye to them. And I thought I might not have been able to have done that if I was teaching, because I couldn't guarantee that I would be allowed the time off to do that. And I'm trying not to well up because it's a podcast, but it's to me it meant everything. It was the most special trip I've ever had in my life.
Nicole Bateman, Classroom to Send Advisor and Sensory Expert, Sliding Doors Story.
So it was probably about 2 years ago when I got a train up to London, and I was walking over Westminster Bridge, saw the Houses of Parliament, and I was on my way to be the parent rep of the Ethics and Law Committee for the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health. And as I said before, I first of all went to do medicine. But actually, when I was in sixth form, I always loved the medical ethics. Like, I loved it. And that's why, with the Flossian ethics and all of that, it was like the combination. And I was like, I want to be on one of these medical ethics committees. And so walking over that bridge and thinking, oh, wow, like I'm actually on the ethics and law committee of the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health. And it brings in also not only that, but with my son, I was able to then speak at an epilepsy conference for pediatricians, like, from all over the country that are part of the Royal College. And so that, I'm like, yes, it brings in the epilepsy. It brings in my passions from when I was younger. And it all kind of, it's all come together.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the sliding doors stories of our guests. And please remember to subscribe to our channels and follow along for the magical pit pony moments that you will find at the end of our episodes every week. On behalf of myself and Sarah, see you on the other side.